Okay. First thing that I noticed is only a couple people have done the concept checks so far. And you guys absolutely have your choice on how you wanted to set them up and do them. So I'm not saying this is a necessarily negative thing. The only thing I worry about possibly is that it just might feel like a lot of work at once if you're putting off too much stuff. So today, by the end of today, you should have the review done and all the concept checks done. And if you're one of the people who was doing the concept checks as we went along during the chapter, then you have very little to do today. But they also work good as a review on their own. So, I mean, it's not even horrible if you're doing them today. So there's pluses and minuses to when you're doing your work, I guess. I wanted to go through some of the questions on the review with you guys, just to kind of see where you're at, to see how things are going. And then I'm going to try to give you a good chunk of time today so that you guys can do the review and do the concept checks, because like I said, only a couple people had actually done them. And then the test itself, we're going to take during class tomorrow. So I think that'll work better for you guys, partially to get in the habit of, you know, as we return to school for various, whatever way, you just kind of have to get more used to the schedule again. So we'll just take the test during class tomorrow. Okay, let's do number 1 together. Logan, can you help me out? How do we solve by graphing again? From where? Close. You got these two numbers backwards though. So no, I mean, like you said the slope right, but the first number is going to be the one that's by itself. So if you guys take notes on things, I would somehow make sure that you know to do that number first. Okay. And then I'll do what you said, Logan. So from this point, I'm going to do the number on the x. So that's the slope. The slope for the top one is 1 over 1. So I'd go up 1 to the right 1. And I could repeat that if I wanted both directions. Ooh. There we go. Okay, so there's the blue line, and then we are going to graph the second line. I'll do it in red. I'm going to start with the 4, the number by itself. And then the slope on this one is 1 over 2. So that would be up 1, right 2 from the 4. And then I'm going to go the other direction, go down 1, back 2. And it looks like they're going to cross at that exact spot right there, which is kind of tough if you don't have graph paper. But you guys will, because the graph paper is part of the test. And then your whole answer is where they cross. So on this one, they cross at the point -2, 3. So that would be my answer for this problem. All right, my plan was to do one of each kind of question with you guys, just as kind of a quick reminder on how things work. And then I'll kind of give you guys the rest of the hour to get everything done. So I know there's an answer key to this review that's attached to the assignment. I believe there's a video that Mr. Caponegri made going through every one of these questions if you needed or wanted to see that as well too. And then, just kind of strategy for you guys. I've been kind of slowly saying things along the way as well, but when we're taking our tests, they're open note tests for you guys because they're all online and they're set up different this year. So use that to your advantage. I mean, like, write little notes to yourself about how to do problems. You guys can look things up while you're taking the test. You just can't use each other for help. Who should we go with? We should go with Ben. Ben, do you think you could help me with, I guess I don't care which question, 4, 5, or 6. Your choice. Excellent choice. How would we go about trying that? Nice. So the substitution method, you have to have one equation. Oh, that was a terrible line. You have to have one equation solved, and then you can plug it in place of the other equation. So negative y plus 3. I'll put in parentheses, and then I'll decide if I even need the parentheses. Plus 4y equals 6. It's so hard to write really small. So in this case, I don't need the parentheses because there's nothing being multiplied on it. So I can kind of just take them off. And obviously you guys can do that. Like, you don't have to write it down. You can kind of do it in your head, figure it out. And then, I don't know, what should I do next, Ben, or do you want me to call on somebody else? Okay. Good. Yep, that's good. 3y. Perfect. Divide by 3, you get 1. Yep, good. Okay, excellent, Ben. Luke, so am I done with the problem, or is there more to do? Or was that your mic that was broken? I don't remember whose it was. Maybe. Desmond? Desmond, am I done with number 5, or is there more to do? What does that do? Okay, good. I'll pick the top one. Well, and why are we doing that anyway? Perfect. Nice explanation. So I'm going to put the 1 in place of just the y. The negative sign still stays on it. And then now I get my second answer. Okay, nice job, Desmond. That was a good explanation. All right, so that's substitution. The two main ways you guys are going to use are substitution and elimination. Honestly, I can't remember off the top of my head on the test if you're told to do a certain method or not. I think on the test it just says solve, and you get to choose, but I can't remember right now. I know that's the way it will become eventually no matter what. I just can't remember on the test. Ella, can you help guide me for, I don't know, which one should we pick? Let's pick 9, because that's the harder one. And if we can do the harder one, then we can do the easy ones. Do you remember how to set up elimination on number 9? I can guide you if you want. I certainly can. So the first thing we do is we try to choose which letter we want to cancel, the X's or the Y's. Your choice. All right, sounds good. So then what we want is we want them to have the same number but opposite. So I need to try to figure out what 5 and 3 can both turn into. And a lot of times you can just multiply them by each other. So, yeah, 15. So I'm going to multiply the top line by 3 and the bottom line by negative 5. And then that way one will be 15 and the other will be negative 15. Okay, so the first equation turns into 15x plus 6y equals negative 3. Second equation becomes negative 15x minus 35y. These numbers are getting bigger. Negative 55. And then, Ella, why did that help us? What are we going to do with that info? Yeah, so now we're going to add the two lines together. And 15 minus 15 cancels out. And then I have negative 29y, negative 58. Oh, yeah, I should have known that. These work out nice. And even if you can't do it in your head, what should I do next, Ella? Okay, how come? Oh, well, those are very different. Which one do you think? Good, very good. This says negative 29 times y, so we want to divide by negative 29 to kind of cancel out the times in. Okay, and then this actually works out to be 2. Nice job. I mean, this one is probably the hardest that you'll run into for elimination. Who else are we on? Isabella? Can you remind me how to find the second answer? Okay. Perfect. Nice. I mean, so I think a lot of you guys are kind of getting to the point where these last couple steps are somewhat automatic in your head, and that's really good if you are. Once you start doing enough of these problems, you kind of see the same things repeatedly, and then you really don't even have to think about them a lot of times. You just kind of know what to do. And I'm starting to see that, so that's good. Okay, so this was a majority of the chapter right here. Like, this was a majority of the difficult parts. Then there was the inequalities. I suppose we can graph one of these single ones too. AJ? AJ out of 10, 11, or 12? Maybe we should pick 12 because it's technically the hardest. I don't know. We have to do something to number 12 before we can graph it. Oh, it's working. I can hear you. Oh, there we go. There's basically one main thing we have to do to be able to graph, or at least most people do. Yeah. So you want the y to be by itself. Okay, so the graphing part itself is no different. I'll go down to make a point. The slope of negative 1/2 means I go down 1 to the right 2. And I can do that both directions. And then do you remember the greater than symbol means something, means two different things actually. Do you remember what two things it meant? Like it's either going to be a solid line or dotted line, and then it's going to shade above or below. Dotted line, good. How about a shading? Should I shade above or below? Okay, how come? Oh, I'm hoping your notes says greater than would be shaded above. Okay, good. Nope, that's better. Because if your notes said the opposite, that would have me worried. So that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to just look at the wrong one. Okay, so y is greater than would be shaded above. So I need to make this a dotted line, which it kind of already was. And then shading above, I absolutely will not be looking for great shading out of. That's not the same color. I think that is. Ooh, I should have been using the highlighter to shade from the beginning. That's much better. Okay, excellent job, AJ. And then when we get to 13, 14, and 15, they're the exact same problems, except for you just do two of them at once. And your final answer is just going to be where they overlap. So, Nora, do you think you could help guide me on one of these? I mean, they're all kind of the same, so I'll just let you pick. Thanks. Okay. Got it? Good. Okay, how would I make that line? Dotted. Okay, did that. Okay. Ooh, that's an ugly purple. Okay, shaded above. Okay. And then, I'm feeling really old right here because these squares are so small. Perfect. Thank you, Nora. Okay. That was a bad dotted line, but we'll go with it. Shade above. And then my final answer is only going to be where they overlap. So let's make a dark color. I guess black works. Oh. So the black section would actually be the final answer. And if I remember, I can't remember if this is a multiple choice question on the test or if this was one where you draw. If this is a multiple choice question on the test, what you would actually see is just that. You wouldn't see anything else. It would just be the final answer section. If it's something where you're going to draw, then I'll be able to kind of decipher what you're doing. So, and as we're going through this review, you guys can absolutely see that the chapter wasn't that big. It's just that a lot of these problems were a little bit slower. I'll do a word problem with you guys if you want. Looks like a lot of them are very close. Oh, beef sticks. Let's go with beef sticks. Sure. This might make me hungry for lunch, but what the heck. So Mr. Cabanigri wrote up this review, and he likes to include his kids in there. So apparently his children like beef sticks and crackers. So Charlotte ate 4 beef sticks and 5 crackers in 31 minutes on Monday. On Tuesday, she ate 2 beef sticks and 4 crackers in 20 minutes. How long does it take her to eat each food item? So this one is pretty straightforward in terms of it's clear that there's 2 separate situations happening. And the benefit to us is that each one of those situations or things is going to be an equation. So Monday, right? So we'll make Monday one equation. 20 minutes is how long it took total. And apparently each beef stick takes a certain amount of time to eat. Each cracker takes a certain amount of time to eat. So then that would be 4 beef sticks times how many minutes it takes to eat one. 5 crackers times how many minutes to eat one. And the total would be 20 minutes. So this whole equation is all about the number of minutes. And then often in a word problem, the other equation would be something totally separate. Like there might be a second equation that says there's 30 food items, you know, the number of beef sticks and crackers is 30, something like that. In this problem, it's set up different because the types of equations are the same. It's just different numbers on 2 separate days. So like say on this one it says 2 beef sticks, 4 crackers. Oh God, you guys should have yelled at me. That wasn't 20. I must have seen the 20 right underneath the 5. The 2 beef sticks, 4 crackers was 20 minutes. Now I'm doubting myself. I want to reread this to see I put the numbers in the right spots. 4 beef, 5 cracker, 31 minutes. 2 beef, 4 cracker. Yeah, okay. And so you can solve this whichever method you prefer. Looking at it, I'm probably going to do elimination because they're all lined up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by -2 because then the beef sticks would cancel out. So top equation, I'll keep the same. Bottom equation, seems wrong because it's negatives, but I mean that's kind of how we set it up. But I'm going to add the 2 lines together now. Beef sticks cancel. -3 crackers is -9. So we find out that a single cracker takes 3 minutes to eat. Now obviously his daughter needs to step up her game because 3 minutes of crackers awfully slow. Most of you guys are probably skilled enough now where you can just take it in one bite. Now, depending on the word problem, you guys have to make sure to read what you're supposed to answer. So if this said, how long does it take to eat a cracker? We would be done and we wouldn't have to do any more. If this would say, how long does it take to eat a beef stick? Well, then we found the wrong answer and so we have to go find the other one. This one specifically says, how long does it take to eat each one? So then I need to find both answers. And we do that the same way we've done every other problem, where you just pick any equation. I will pick the bottom one because it has the smallest numbers. And smallest numbers usually goes fastest. Okay, 4, and obviously I'm not going to go work through all the word problems just because a lot of them are similar. There's just a lot of examples on here on purpose because I know a lot of you feel like the word problems are the hardest ones for you. And so there's a lot of examples on here for you to practice so that you feel more confident in them. And then you also have more examples to look at if you need to refer to one on the test. So like, let's say the one on the test is similar to one of these, then you can look to it for help. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I wanted to try to give you as much time as possible today. Because like I said, I know a lot of you need to do all your concept checks yet. So feel free to hit me up if you guys have questions on anything. We'll take the test tomorrow during class. If you guys, I was possibly going to use GoGuardian. Do a bunch of you guys not use your Chromebooks? I guess I'm not, I don't even know at this point how many other teachers use what. Maybe I should ask, does anybody use their own computer instead? Oh, really? Does everybody use a Chromebook? All right. So I might use GoGuardian. Oh, okay, Ben. I haven't decided yet. The downside is I don't want your Chromebooks to run even slower than they already do. And GoGuardian, I think, slows down your computer on top of everything else. So maybe what we can do is we can just go on Zoom, and I can have your guys' cameras on during the test instead of GoGuardian. Do you guys have an opinion? Oh, that's true, Devari. That's what in my other class, when we take tests, a lot of the students just use their own phone and prop up their phone to have Zoom on during the test. And then they do the test on their Chromebook so that it doesn't slow down their Chromebook. You guys absolutely could do that if you want. Let's do that then. So tomorrow during the test, let's come on Zoom to take the test. And then that way we'll leave it all on mute. But then if you guys have questions, I can help you with it right then and there. So, okay. Thank you guys for coming. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.